Hi all, in this video we're talking about the exercise in part 2 on learning to let go and let the universe take care of whatever you have created. These are tips for the exercise. Let's see. Number 1 is don't be stingy when you think about the ways the universe can bring you what you want. If you're having a hard time thinking of the ways the universe can bring you something, it means that you're stuck in the idea of this not being possible. And that's why you haven't got what you wanted yet. So you really have to relax your mind and start being open and being creative and being a solver of this problem rather than pushing the answer away. So this is really the hard work where this comes in, because this is where you're addressing these blocks that you have, that this can't happen because I'm not good at this. So there's no way that I could become good at this. And so in asking yourself, well, how could that change? Then you're asking yourself to challenge those blocks a little bit and look in the other direction. So think of as many different ways for the universe to bring you your solution as you possibly can, and make them outrageous and wild and funny and interesting, as interesting as you can possibly make them, because that's the way the universe works. And the more fun that you can bring into this exercise, the better for you. One time I was struggling and I actually had a phone call that I answered, and it was someone in Tibet that said they were leading a workshop in Tibet and they were meditating, and two different people had come up with this phone number, and they said they had called me because they had heard that I was asking for help from like-minded energies, and they gave me some advice on what I was struggling with, which was not something that I had talked to anyone about. There was no way they could have known. So in terms of wild ways of the universe answering their question, answering my question, that was pretty wild to think of, that is possible. And the more instances that you have, that you build up, that happens, the more you learn to relax and trust that the universe has all the resources and all the intelligence and all the connections that it needs, and it can get you your help if you're willing to stop and trust a little bit in source. And by the way, I'm not the only person that has happened to. I have read, for instance, Arnie Mindell, who is a psychologist, writes in his book that something similar happened to him. He was walking by a phone booth, and it started ringing, and he got a call. He went in out of curiosity and picked it up, and the person said something like, "Hey, I'm looking for a Swiss psychologist, or is there anyone there?" And he said, "Yeah, I am one." And they gave him the advice he needs. And I also know someone who was on the other side of that. They were a person that kept getting this message, "Hey, you have to contact this person on TV and tell them this message." And they didn't understand what the message meant. It just sounded stupid to them. But after months, they eventually contacted this person, and that person said, "Oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear." So these things do happen. You may not get it in such a weird way, but they can happen to anyone. Or you may just be, walking down the street and there's a flyer on the floor and you pick it up, and that's the thing that you want. But if you're willing to trust and believe and open your heart a little and have some fun with this, then really amazing things can happen. If you want any more information, my website is Conscious Creative Life, and there are workshops there if you would like to register for any of them. Thanks all for being here.